Welcome back to another exciting episode of the RationalInvestor.com Daily Brief. Woohoo! And actually, if I'm not mistaken, I think Chris jimmied a little bit with the audio settings so you can hear Brian go a couple octaves higher. It's important to note those octave changes because usually that denotes Brian's getting excited about something. It's probably worth paying attention to. So Chris, did they hear me go? Woo-hoo! Oh my goodness! Look at me! I'm way up here now.
That's right. They're getting all that good octave in Brian's voice.
All right, cool. So hello everyone. Welcome back to the frivolity. Also, too, I am hearing a lot of people say that YouTube is doing some weird things with playbacks of these videos. And probably the easiest way to solve that is just park your butt in the Zoom call. And you're live with us. Like we got Meg here. We got Lucas. Lucas is on his iPhone, so way to go, Lucas. Yeah, we got Josh here. And of course, today is Tuesday. And Tuesdays, it's all about pannenkoeks. The Dutch pannenkoek house, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway.
Hi all.
Hey, there he is. There's Mr.
Yeah.
Dutch Pannenkoek. And if I understand correctly, he's wearing a cat for a hat today. Cat in the hat?
Yeah, she might bring us a surprise visit again later on.
So, anyway, point being, we've got TRI CTO on the after party call today for his reports, and I've told you all before. I've been in this crypto space now for the better part of 10 years, and I have yet to meet anybody in this space who could hold a candle to Sjord's computer, what would we call it? Acumen? Is that the right word? I'm not quite sure. I always fancy myself a wordsmith. But if there was anybody that I was going to even hire as like a consultant, well, what do you think? Should we get involved in this project, or should we maybe stay away from this project, or is that efficient use of our time, or is that good best practices for running websites and building code and stuff? I mean, Sjord's the man. So always a privilege and an honor to just sit and listen to his wisdom. So we've got that in the after party today. So if you want, pop on in. And of course, every once in a while he does drop a nugget or two of wisdom. One of his names that he's been jazzed about, he's telling me he's just making money hand over fist. But we probably shouldn't mention that publicly. If anything, that's the one good thing about Sjord is that when he does start making ridiculous money, he's like, shh. I don't want anybody coming and holding a gun to my head and trying to steal all my crypto because I'm so stinking rich. Anyway, I'm sure he doesn't want to hear that. But we'll talk a little bit about one of his names, and I'll give you a hint. Hello! But damn, way to go, sir. Always awesome. And I've told him, the fate of the universe is in your hands, sir. So anyway, stay tuned, tune in for the after party show today, and you'll get a big dose of this Sjord. My job here, I guess for the next 20 minutes, half hour or so, is to try and make some sense of what the hell's going on in the world. Holy moly. This is insanity. And also, too, what I've noticed, and this is probably a little bit more subtle. We do have a major celestial event coming up here, a lunar eclipse, and we have noticed that, especially in crypto, past couple lunar eclipses have seen absolute disasters on the other sides of them in crypto land. But I also noticed, too, that the broader economy, like literally the fabric of our society, is under immense amount of stress right now. I gotta sneeze. Hold on. Did we get 3? No, just 2. Yeah, 3 is actually usually lucky. Anyway, so make sure I didn't leave any residuals there. Anyway, So I mean, this is like cats and dogs living together. It's a bit chaotic, and the sad thing is I don't really even know where this ends. It seems to be one week after the next week after the next week, another domino falls, another domino falls, another domino falls. And if I'm not mistaken, and this is the one great part about TRI's Lounge, is we have a lot of people who are very active and sort of keeping an eye on the ball. And Ilan this morning pointed out that Mr. Dixon here is pointing out to the cryptoverse. And of course, this makes perfect sense because all the crypto kids, basically, they're saying this is exactly what we said was gonna happen. The society, you cannot just go and magically just print money endlessly and not expect it to have some repercussions. I have a great amount of respect for Simon, and of course he's probably richer than all of us put together now. But he's the guy who said anytime you see Bitcoin correct 80%, just go and buy it. It's a no-brainer. But anyway, he was pointing out, and Elan pointed out in the lounge that here we go again. We got another of these regional banks that is blowing up, and I've said this all along too, that I actually believe that this is intentionally done by the money center banks in eastern United States. And they're kind of waging war on the competition, if you will, within the banking sector. And it unfortunately, and actually it's really interesting how we had one gentleman who used to be on the site all the time. I don't see him at all anymore. It's too bad. But he used to, he was another person really big into these celestial events. And he used to always say this cycle is all about consolidation of power. And I hate to say it, but I think that's spot on. The 1% is consolidating their power base. That First Republic Bank, all of a sudden mysteriously now, it's now JP Morgan. Oh, what a surprise. And by the way, just in case all you Americans didn't know, JP Morgan has a very large portion of that bank is actually owned by the Rothschild family. So just understand who it is that's driving all of this. It's pretty sad, really. If anything, I'm almost a little disappointed that I had to live through all this. I'm almost envious of JoJo. She got to live through the good part of this cycle, and then when this cycle started to deteriorate, she got permission to leave. But for some bloody reason, I have to stick around through all this crap. It's weird. I had a dream last night. Somebody told me that I looked like I was still in my 20s. I couldn't believe that. I even sat there in my dream at the table going, you got to be kidding me. I know I don't look like I'm in my 20s. Anyway, there's a totally side thought for you. Anyway, so the point of the matter here is, I woke up this morning and gee whiz, we are just seeing some insane price volatility here. Again, keep in mind we are going into this theoretically this what would you call it? Well, this is the millennials growth cycle. It's just wow, things are all over the map here. Are we back into one of those markets? There was a market for quite a while in the maybe it was in the early 2000s. And I suppose it might make sense because that was the period where the Americans were just spending ridiculous amounts of money on that phony baloney war in the Middle East. I guess two wars that they sort of manufactured. And just printing money like drunken whores. So you had the Japanese yen cranking higher. And of course, the US economy was still reeling from the dot-com bubble bursting. You had gold racing higher because of the money printing and the ridiculousness. Oh, we accidentally lost $1.2 trillion. Did you look in your back pocket there, Mr. What the hell was that guy's name? Was it Rumsfeld? I think that's who it was. I mean, it was blatant, the theft. And then, the documents that are being audited to figure out where the money went Just so happened to be in a place called the World Trade Center. What a coincidence. Oh, well, we can't look and find those records now. They're buried in a 30-story pile of rubble. I mean, it's just brutal how corrupt this world is. But the point of the matter is that through that particular environment, you had the Japanese yen rallying very hard. You had the bond market rallying hard, which I think was just a proxy of slower growth, recessionary environment. And you had gold rallying hard. And I'm seeing a similar image. So I wonder if we're back into that environment. It also, now unfortunately back then there was this thing called Bitcoin. It didn't exist back then. But you notice as gold took off here today on that latest banking fiasco, Bitcoin also took off here too. So was interesting through the weekend. We had, and I don't really talk too much about it in the public. I'll just sort of make reference to it, just so you can sort of see what I was sort of thinking. We had, I'd actually sort of got the idea that, red boxes are shorting zones. I don't know if you've ever heard of that before. Reload short zones, all that kind of stuff. And we had like all these M's working. So I was like, what the hell? I want to build a short position up into here. And indeed, the market did dump through the weekend. It was interesting. I had one chart up here that I don't know where the best way to show you this is. I think it was off of this chart. I had actually pointed out on this particular chart that I actually laid out two scenarios for the corn going forward. Was this a bullish bot and we were going to trend continuation way higher here up into what I would have considered value sell levels up here at 31,000. Still have a couple funny little price objectives floating out there. I think probably off of and I got to be careful because I could sit here and just talk to you guys for hours on end, but I only have a certain amount of time, so I should really make this quick. Oh, there you go. Oh, can you hear that background noise, Chris? Did that come through? I don't know. If it did, we might have to change it. Did it? Hey, wonderful. If anything, this is an absolutely perfect analogy of our society right now. So, should I change my settings? Was it Zoom that we changed the settings on? All right, let's see where the hell I do that. Listen to that shit, eh? Jesus. This world. As well, we're going. I have a feeling. I'm sorry, Stuart. If you want to step away for 10-15 minutes, I have a feeling I'm going to be a little bit long here today. Now I have to figure out how the hell to change this. What button was it that I have to push? I can't even remember. Oh yeah, there it is over there. All right, and then we go audio settings. And then we will, it's on low now, but maybe I'll switch it to, well, let's try it. We'll go medium. I don't know, does it change while I'm speaking away here? Can you hear that background noise anymore? Okay, well then let's change it to, let's go to high. All right, so now it's on high. So how's that? Is that any better? La 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 la. All right. Anyway. All right, so just try our best. This is, I tell you, man, this is a really, really taxing period of time here. Anyway, this is not the chart I wanted to show you. It was, maybe it was on this 4-hour chart. Yeah. So we had these old bot targets of 31,000 floating out there. I guess that one was hit, but we also had this one. Now, I guess you could make the argument that these lows have been busted out. Mind you, this original bottom, I don't think it's been broken yet. So it might still be on the table. I doubt it, though. It kind of looks head and shoulders-y. The only problem is that this shoulder here is higher than that shoulder, so you can't really use that. But anyway, So, and actually this is an interesting image because, 4-hour basis, I still think we're stuck in this trading range. So they dumped the market down against the lows here. And now I guess it's just really a question of, are we going to go through some sort of, buy the rumor kind of idea into this FOMC, or has this asset actually topped out, and whatever the rally is up into this top represents a new shorting level against these highs? Tough to say exactly, but the point of the matter here is we came down against the bottom end of this range here. And so my simple plan that I had for trading the corn here through the weekend was that if we did come down into these buy levels, I would be very sort of reluctant to be too in love with the position. And also too, I think this is probably a good testament of using moving averages as support. You can actually see the moving average relationship turn back to the bull side overnight. 3 high low method, you could probably make the argument a move above these highs would probably want to get you out. And that little spike here early this morning actually stopped me out of that position. So I'm actually just sort of sitting on the sidelines right now, just watching. And I actually would expect to see a little bit more of a counter trend rally as we head into this FOMC. Suppose the question ultimately is, do these banking woes prevent the Fed from actually acting any further here? I did find it interesting that, aside from the banks all teetering here, the US dollar index itself did actually go and confirm that double bottom. In the free video that I did yesterday, I was like, I can't see how this won't confirm. And sure enough, you can see here, through the day on an intraday basis, we popped the top there, and now we're backing off away from that level. But that double bottom is now in. So I'm one of these price purist kind of guys. I actually don't really mind taking a trade on a breakout through that level. That number right there is 102.2310. This number here, 102.22.8. So 102.2310. Interesting. If I just put that on there, 102.2310. Yeah. So I would consider that a double bottom. It is interesting though, probably a lot of people, if this latest bank crisis didn't develop, and interestingly enough, does this actually now start driving a wedge through the Eastern money center banks and all of these West Coast California proxies? It just sure feels like the West and the East of the United States are being wedged further and further apart here. And you might even argue there could be the basis of a civil war developing here. Anyway, we'll see how that goes. For the time being, like I said, another California bank went down here today. We'll see if it survives through the weekend. And then, of course, what does Powell say in the face of all that? I don't know. It's tough to say. Anyway, I suppose probably the biggest market that caught my attention this morning, and it's kind of funny because Chris and I, we trade what's called an opening range trade here with him. He's worked very closely with the Top Step people. I think he's got the trade set up down cold. He executes it perfectly. The irony of it all, though, is that you can see we opened up and we were trading inside yesterday's range, which was inside the previous day's range. So opening range trade setup actually was off the table here today. And what's funny is I don't really like getting up. I had a terrible night's sleep last night, which seems to be the theme lately, which is, I suppose, probably going to make me look a little older. But I was up at like 5:30, 5:45 or so. And I committed to taking the opening range trade with Chris. I really, really want to get that business model up and running. We have one particular prop firm that actually you can take payouts in crypto, which has me really, really interested. The only problem is they're still trading with MT4 and MT5 and stuff, which is a pain in the butt. But anyway, point of the matter here is that I woke up, at 5:40, 5:30, 5:45. The pit opens at 6 o'clock my time, and we were inside range. And so I was like, okay, phew, I could go back to sleep. I didn't have to worry about the trade. But it turns out, holy crap! Ironically enough, we followed our rules. We did the right thing, but actually, the opening range trade did work. And this is the kind of trade that actually can make your month. If you just catch these. So crazy Murphy's Law. But this is probably the thing that really jumped out at me, right? So there is the 6 a.m. bell. Ding, 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 ding. And the traders were literally on the sell side of this market from the get-go. Look at that one directional move. Holy free holies. So that's going to start grabbing some people's attention. Crude oil down $3.66 a barrel. If anything, what we've said in the past, and actually this might be an interesting opportunity, you people on YouTube, to sort of give me some feedback here. What did we say is the percentage move that if you see this percentage move in the markets, that the floor traders all start going, whoa, something big's going on there? Anybody know? Meg, you probably know the answer to this, but maybe just let's see if you guys in the lounge here can answer. Very good, Meg. Meg, you nailed it. Good for you. Zugi says, I've been sleeping like absolute shit the past week or so as well. Must be something in there. I have a feeling it has to do with this lunar eclipse that's coming up here, dude. So if anything, that's good that you and I are both on the same page. Nice. Everybody there on YouTube, except Andre. Andre, we need to school you up a little bit. 2% is the magic number. If you get a greater than 2% move in any market, that gets the trader's attention. So interesting. Stock market's only down 1.5% right now, 68-point move to the downside on the ES. That's actually not really, the traders go, nah, so what? It's just another business day. But almost 5% drop in crude oil prices? Wow, holy moly. So if anything, and we were kind of joking, or I think yesterday I even did it. Did the commodities brokers actually have a winning seasonal trade in crude oil this year? I don't know. Interesting too. It looks like we got a potential empire here trying to come in down at the bottom of the range. This is a 1-minute chart though. I just did this for illustration purposes. If anything, now that we've got some volatility in the market, I would even say something like we probably want to, and actually this is probably not the screen I want to do this on. Oh, goodness. I'm so scatterbrained here today. It's going to take 2 hours to get through a half-an-hour presentation. Sorry, everyone. What I usually do in something like crude is, this makes perfect sense. So we are at ATR levels. We have gone beyond fog and bombs. We could probably even do fog and bomb off of this double top up top here. And somebody was asking on the site, this is totally side topic, but what the hell? Oh yeah, look at that. Okay, we got a big 877 coming up here. So I have a feeling that's probably, this now actually starts representing respectable trade location. I don't like to take trades at settlement. I don't even really like to take trades at moving averages, although we do have one gentleman who I taught this moving average crossover system with, and he loves it. But I'm an extreme range trader. So at the bottom end of the range, at these horizontal support and resistance levels, at this ATR level, at fog and bomb levels, I actually now start thinking, okay, we can drill down to lower timeframes and start hunting things like bullish setups. There's the VWAP. So, a nice contrarian move. You could see the market could jump here about $1.80 or so. We want to be hunting now for things like bullish divergences. And oh, gee whiz, you can see the bull div came in all the way through here. Kind of petering out a little bit, but you can see RSI started to div out here, and RSI still has the divs working. And you can see Willie was nice and stupidly oversold. So, put it all together. I'm a little concerned that this MACD here has kind of taken away that bullish vote. So I might be still a bit skeptical. But if we can get some sort of W to come in on these momentum indicators down in here, as long as we're still in divergence, and if I can get a W in price, there actually probably is going to be some sort of return to the mean kind of trade. And it probably also is just going to be like a kiss of ATR from the other side. So you can see 73.15. That's like literally $1.15. That's $1,500. No, that's about $1,100 a contract on the big boys. Oh, that's some money. And there you can see the VWAPs all the way up there at 73.83. So I'll probably be watching this pretty closely through the day. But what I found interesting is that I went through the news rags and I couldn't figure out what the hell is the driver. Why is crude getting its lunch handed to it? Doesn't make any sense to me. There must be some fundamental driver. And I'm just wondering whether maybe a lot of these banks and stuff like that, and people that have exposure to the banking sector are also, because if you don't find any specific reason, I mean, if we scroll down here and we see, well, the Sultan of Brunei has decided to liquidate all of his crude oil holdings or something along those lines, then this might be, and I have a feeling this is what is going on, is this is almost an environment where if you can't sell what you want to sell, you sell what you can sell. And I wonder if a lot of people that are, heavily long all these banks and just getting destroyed right now are getting margin calls and all that kind of stuff. And they're just scrambling around their portfolio going, what can we sell? What can we sell? Hey, stock market, hit the goddamn bid. Hit it, hit it, hit it, hit it. We got a bunch of crude on the books. All right, hit it, hit it, hit it, get it. We need the money. We need the money. I don't know. I mean, it's an interesting market state right now. That's for sure. So uber volatile here. And how ironic, right? We got this big FOMC meeting coming up tomorrow. And actually, I guess the day one of it is today. And day two is tomorrow. And, if you are watching this video stream, you haven't seen our antics before, be sure to tune in around FOMC decision time, which should be about 11 o'clock, noon, somewhere around there, Pacific time. That'll be like 2 o'clock, 2 p.m. in the afternoon, East Coast time. That's when the Fed usually does their announcement. And we do just a video on the site. I put up a matrix of all the assets, and we just sit and sort of comment about what Powell says through his speech, and what was the market's reaction following that. So be sure to tune in for that as well. Hit the like button, subscribe. I see we got 42 people watching this video right now. Maybe a couple of you could hit the like button if I've said anything of any value to you here today. And as well, just understand that half of the reason why we built the school is for environments like this. I would imagine there's a lot of people in the world right now who are just like, I don't know what the hell to do. What should I do? Should I buy? Should I sell? Should I leverage trade? Should I, just bury my head in the sand? Just go put all my money in gold and forget about it? Which I never recommend ever to anyone. Put all your money on one bet. You know me and my 5% rule. So, that's why we build the school. So if anything, maybe this is a good opportunity for you to get yourself schooled up on how to build plans that reflect who you are as an investor. And then that way you have a framework of how to approach the market in a market state like this. Ironically enough, in a weird sort of way, I'm still uber bullish about accumulating stuff. I've gone on at length, and I think it would be mandatory for anybody who doesn't really know what they're doing. Please just come in and yeah, that's right, Josh, get your skirt together. Just come in and read our blog. The blog is so beautiful. I mean, Josh, you're here on the call. Josh, you got a microphone handy? Just say hello to these people so people can put a voice to this beautiful writing. Where are you? God damn it. Anyway, it doesn't look like he's around. Anyway, 2023 Benner cycle. If anything, the fact that the broader economy and the broader market are just crapping their pants right now, this is actually a really good opportunity in the broader market, buying when they're crying, selling when they're yelling. The only problem is I think this crying goes on. They say sell in May and walk away. And usually the seasonal bottom doesn't come in until about halfway through June, heading into the US July 4th holiday. So are we in some sort of point like right here right now? I think so. And I think that the May-June swoon will be whatever this low pivot is. But I still definitely think that 2023 is your accumulation year. So aside from, day trading, keep in mind, these are like 30-minute charts that I'm flipping Bitcoins on here, right? I wouldn't recommend that the public even touch this kind of stuff unless you've got a trading plan, you know what you're doing, you understand order execution, you understand, you got your journals, you're downloading all your emotions, all that crap. Public, stay the hell away from these lower time frame trade setups. What you really want to be concentrating on is these higher time frame charts. And I've said repeatedly, and this is a great, reiteration of the tools that we offer at TRI. As long as I'm seeing 5s and 6s in this particular space, and keep in mind, we're not seeing 5s and 6s in the bond market. There's no 5s or 6s, commodities, country funds, stocks, currencies, nothing. The only place that I see 5s and 6s right now happens to be in cryptocurrencies. There are a few, like in the tech sector, there are a few stocks that are spitting out 5s. And maybe we can convince Fjord to throw our technology index stocks on here. I'd really like to get the technology stocks. Like we have an index, it's the Tech 100 index, which would be a perfect complement. Right now, we're following the Dow Industrials, and you notice big tech stocks, Salesforce.com is a 5. And that makes sense to me, right? Just tech, computers, NASDAQ, crypto, they're all interrelated. They're all exactly the same. Well, not exactly the same, but very similar. So it doesn't surprise me to see something like Salesforce.com spitting out a 5. And if we add that Tech 100 index on here, my hunch is that you'd probably see a lot of 5s and 6s in there. What I would say is I don't see any 6s, and 6s are sort of like the market has turned, the market's at the bottom end of the range, and momentum is strong, and there's a high probability of you being able to squeak out a profit in this. I also noticed too, which is a bit surprising to me, but it is what it is. The algo is actually now both in crypto and the broader crypto universe. Actually, the algo is still pointing positive here. So in a weird sort of way, because I'm just following a trading plan, Mr. Do you have 10 years of audited statements to show us that you know what you're doing? No, but I actually went and bought Bitcoins based on the algo signal right there. And the algo is still technically long. And this is an auditable statement that, because, if we want to market something as an algo system, then you absolutely have to have bulletproof auditable statements. So if anything, I've been running this since last fall. I'm actually quite pleased to see, you can see last buy signal came in April 26th. We're up 65% on our little stake that we're working over there. So hell, I can't complain. And I find it fascinating that even though Mr. Day Trader, Pit Trader is trading circles around the algo right now, the algo is long and it's still just sitting long. It is what it is. So anyway, to that end, why am I mentioning all that? Well, anytime you see an asset that has had a huge run up, a huge dump, comes all the way down, is below the classic reload zone. And now I might even argue this is a good example of this asset is now in the venture cap reload zone. And then it goes and it actually spits out a double bottom breakout. Well, Brian, he's going to have to buy that. I don't have any choice. I mean, it's in my DNA. I see that and I go, there's no way I can't buy that. I have to buy it. So, it is interesting that, and I've said this repeatedly, this is just basically a reiteration of this conversation, is that 2023 is an accumulation year. And I did this in the past, and, my auditable statement is my Twitter feed. So, I mean, take it for whatever it's worth. We could do an audit on Trex. It's just, I'll tell you, man, I've shown the accountants the crypto ledger, if you will. I don't know what you want to call it. And they're just like, oh my God, this is a bloody headache. Because, of course, it's cryptocurrency versus Bitcoin and Bitcoin to fiat, whatever. But this is my auditable statement. And I started this in 2014, 2015. And this was the bull rally into 2017, 18. Hate to say it, folks, I think we're in exactly the same part of the cycle. So I'm going to basically do exactly the same thing. And so I'll just finish off this public broadcast. Then we'll get over and we'll talk to somebody who actually knows what the hell they're doing in this space. And he's got some killer trades. And we've actually given him some serious money to work with in this space. So I'm super excited and optimistic for him. But for the little old ladies out there, here we are. We've had some site members that have wanted to participate in this. We call this the Canasta Club. And I've said, look, I'm just buying everything, anything and everything I can possibly buy. And now, of course, we can add OMG to the list. And actually, I really like the price that I paid for this thing. Super cheap. So, I want to own everything. And I am in the process of taking positions on everything. Small positions. And of course, if they double, I will go out and bang out doubles. And I got to be a little bit sharper to make sure that I actually do hit the levels when they come in. But as I said there a moment ago, if you ever see a chart that looks like this, and you ask yourself, well, would Brian buy something like that? That's a no-brainer. So call it an auditable statement. I don't know what the hell you want to call it. All I try to do, and I've said this repeatedly to all of you, I'm an open book. Yeah, I mean, I show you guys exactly, you can see exactly what I buy and exactly where I buy it. There's no bullshitting with me. You can see I'm a damn handsome guy. Well, maybe. But I will never tell you what to buy or sell in the marketplace. If you want to join me, great. You're more than welcome. I will be an open book of what it is that I'm doing in the marketplace, but I'm never going to shill you because there's no vested interest in me to get you to buy this. I don't care if you buy it or not. It doesn't mean anything to me. And actually, that shouldn't be 11. That should be $1.11. Beg your pardon. So, but for certain, if we trade back up into this level, Brian will be on the sell side, establishing that risk-free trade and just doing what it is that I do. And then you should also look at this and go, well, I've heard Brian talk about candle body highs for trade locations. So if somebody was going to short this thing, that makes perfect sense. You've also heard Brian talk about there's a whole bunch of guys that are sleeping on the couch up top here. And if we get any kind of rally up into these wicks, that they are going to be selling like sons of guns to get out of there. So, nice rally up into this level would be perfect opportunity to be selling and establishing those risk-free trades. Does this take the next year to develop? Could easily be. But it's just kind of interesting that there are these double bottom breakouts that are happening even in the midst of this absolutely insane market state. Okay, as I said, probably we're not going to have a really clear idea of what the hell this market's going to look like until we're on the other side of this big eclipse event, FOMC event. I don't know whether I'm going to really read too much into what I see here today. I am happy that I took my little short trade off. I think that's the right idea. And especially heading into a huge fundamental event like an FOMC meeting, you're probably best if you are, quote unquote, a trader to just hop off on the sidelines and just let everything settle down. So I think probably on balance, for trading wise, gonna be just like shoring things up, but at the same time too, I hope you all can look at an image like this, and you tell me. I'll just finish the video off with this, and you probably already know how this is gonna go. I can't tell you how to read that line. I really can't. But you probably should be able to figure out exactly how I read that line. So this is an example here where I think opportunity is now here. And the only way that I can convey to you how serious I am about this is if you actually see me putting my own money at risk. I went and bought today. It's crazy ass Brian. All right, so we'll leave it at that. I'm super excited to hear what's on Stuart's mind today. Try and understand this lunar eclipse. This is really messing with people's heads. I really don't want to make any big conclusions about the market. It is sell in May and walk away, and it is technically May now. Usually these markets bottom middle of June, heading into that July 4th holiday weekend. I'm not going to fall in love with anything, but at the same time too, if I see overt weakness back against bottom ends of ranges, I will step in on the buy side and start accumulating. All right. Have yourself a rest of a good day for whatever it's worth. Hit the like button, subscribe, maybe consider joining our, we have a raffle. So I don't know whether we have that page to quickly show everybody. Sorry, I'm rambling here a little bit. What time is it? Yeah, I'm way over now. Sorry. But just, for whatever it's worth, we do have a raffle. So if you are, kind of tight on your budget and you would like to have a seat in the school, maybe join the raffle and see if you can get lucky. At the same time too, our education program, we're practically giving this away at $1,100. That's especially in this hyperinflation world. That's ridiculous. That should be like $2,000 now just to stay level with everything else. Have you seen what a loaf of bread is? It's ridiculous what's going on here. So anyway, there's your shill. PMA for the win. Of course, we'll see everybody again tomorrow. We have a Stock Pickers Club meeting tonight. So that should be a fun conversation with them. Don't get too wrapped up in the emotions of this market state. Like I said, we've got big lunar events here, which really screw with the humans. Go slowly, PMA for the win, and just put yourself into a position that you can just ride the wave. Don't get sunk by it. All right, slow and steady wins the race. Hugs and kisses. PMA for the win. Don't take no wooden nickels. I can't think of any more cliches to say, so the only thing left to say is bye for now.